First things, we host 1 or 2 intellectual retreats a year. We call them intellectual retreats because it's a chance to take a little time out, take a Saturday, Friday night and Saturday, and read books and discuss about ideas. And our last one was on death and mourning. For me, the highlight was unquestionably the fantastic medieval poem, Sir Gawain, or Sir Gawain, depending on how you pronounce it, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This is a tale that tries to bring out the power of the fear of death and the way that it exercises control over us. And the poem opens with King Arthur and his court celebrating at Christmas time. And King Arthur says, we won't eat until somebody tells me a fantastic tale. And at just that moment, nobody needs to tell the tale because the doors of the castle open and in gallops a man on a steed, a green man with green clothes and green armor on a green horse. And he challenges the gathered knights of the round table. And his challenge is this: I will submit my neck to this axe if anyone dares to swing it, if that same knight will promise to bare his neck 1 year hence. And Sir Gawain steps forward to take this challenge, thinking, okay, so how would I have to worry about the next year if I chop the guy's head off? So he gives the Green Knight a mighty blow, and his head is severed, and it rolls down the floor. But to the amazement of everyone in the hall, the headless Green Knight picks his head up and says to the gathered folks, I will see Sir Gawain 1 year hence in the Green Chapel. And so Sir Gawain goes off 1 year later to find the Green Chapel. He makes his arduous journey. He comes to a castle, and in that castle, the head of the castle has a beautiful wife. And as it happens, this beautiful wife of the master of the castle comes to Sir Gawain 3 nights in a row to tempt him. And he doesn't fall for the temptations of the flesh. But on the final day she visits, she gives him a garter, a belt, that has magical powers to protect his life, because he's just about to meet his doom in the Green Chapel. But he does not tell the master of the castle that he's been given this green garter. He keeps that a secret. And he goes the next day to meet the Green Knight. When the Green Knight raises his axe to first time to strike the blow, he flinches, and he's humiliated and chastised, and he bares his neck the second time, and the Green Knight only strikes him with a glancing blow, nicking his skin. And then Sir Gawain stands up, proud to have survived the ordeal, but the Green Knight knows about the garter, and he chastises Sir Gawain again, saying, you're basically a coward. And Sir Gawain is deeply, deeply humiliated, and pounds his chest and chastises himself, condemns himself, and then winds up going back to King Arthur, and the poem ends. And many commentators in the poem cannot understand or have difficulty understanding why the Green Knight only nicks his neck. And as I was reading the poem, came to think that what the poet is trying to tell us is that dishonor is a greater, graver thing to suffer from than death itself. That there are things more grievous, or there are worse things than death. And so in a sense, the Green Knight inflicts a greater punishment, if you will, on Sir Gawain by letting him live than he does by killing him. And I think there's a lesson for us here in the way that we think about our own lives. The poem is very forgiving, really, of Sir Gawain's desire to save his life. And I think in that regard, fear of death is the most natural thing for human beings, and it's not something that we should imagine is wrong to not want to die, to fear death. But On the other hand, we have to discipline ourselves to recognize that it's not always the worst thing, and that there are higher and greater things than a love of life. There are things to love, even unto death. And obviously we see this with parents who are willing, mothers who are willing to sacrifice their lives to save their children, or soldiers who are willing to sacrifice their lives to protect their comrades. And then of course the martyrs for the faith who are willing to die rather than to deny Christ. So it was a beautiful poem, a beautiful moment for me to think about the goodness of life, the things of life that we rightly cherish, and the gift of life, but putting it into the proper framework, proper perspective as a great and noble thing, but not the greatest and not the noblest.